If you're looking to make solar simple, give Ron Domenico with AD Energy a call. All-day energy made simple. Solar solutions with zero down, options to lease or finance, and roofs and trees are no issue. Call Ron Domenico at 609-226-2802 and tell him you saw him on the Sports Box.
Well, hello again, and welcome to the show that's probably better than going to the Bunny House in Nevada. This is the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters. It's right here. I am Mike Galetta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, along with my partner, Brian, the Ranger Tar. Brian, how are you today?
Listen, obviously I've never been there, but it's the Bunny Ranch for one.
Oh, what did I say, Bunny House?
Bunny House. I don't know if our audience would find us more entertaining than that. We are cheaper, though.
Yeah, well,
I'll tell you that.
Depends on who wants to go there. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I try. I have a little comedy every now and again. Sometimes it just crashes and burns. Anyway, today we are going to talk about the Eastern Final for the NHL, the Pittsburgh Penguins and those Ottawa Senators.
I see what you did there.
I had something.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Those Ottawa Senators unbelievably get past the New York Rangers. I think I had picked the Rangers. Oh, actually, no, I said Ottawa in 7. Listen, I'm not trying to break it down. We have a little fun with that now, but you know the Rangers had opportunities in that game, especially in Game 5. Was it?
2 and 5 and 1.
Well, 5 was the killer because they were up 5-3 at one point. Let Ottawa get back in the game.
Well, they're very similar games.
Yeah,
you're thinking of
Game 2. I'm sorry. Let Ottawa get back in the game. Ottawa wins it in overtime. I mean, and the game you had gone to up at the bar when Ottawa had won in overtime as well. I mean, that was a killer too. But in any sense, the Senators are here going against those Pittsburgh Penguins who made Washington burn a place down again. That's unbelievable. We were going to have a whole other story on the whole Washington thing. That's
where we will.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Go.
Just as I guess a post-mortem slightly on the Rangers here, I'm going to tell you. As a big Rangers fan, listen, when they lose to a team that's better than they are, like, it sucks, but you get it. So it's like not really, like, if you think of last year, for the guys who've been watching Sports Box since last year the Rangers played Pittsburgh in the first round. I said Pittsburgh was going to win in 5 games. I hope that I was wrong. That's exactly what happened. And you live with it because, hey, you lost to a better team. I have to tell you, in my entire time being a Ranger fan, going back, I was born in 1984, this is probably one of the most frustrating series I've ever had to endure because the Rangers lost this series 1-5. The Rangers should have won every single game 1 through 5. Iowa played their game in Game 6 and got a win. The Rangers almost got that one too.
And you didn't lose to a high-powered scoring team. I mean, they were scoring, but it was only because they were just going and making opportunities happen.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the Rangers offseason in the coming weeks. I don't want to take away from this right now, but just know that. And our team didn't win.
And to piggyback on that, before we started this, we had Jim from the Blue Shirt Underground on, and we talked about Henrik Lundqvist and about how he had to play well in this series, and it didn't have to be a sticking point, but it was one of the things we talked about. There was no problem there. He kept them in games. I mean, if it wasn't for him, they could have got blown out in a couple of these games. Right. But in the other sense, some of these guys that we were expecting to step up never stepped up. Mm-hmm. So, but like Brian said, we'll
have a post-mortem. I have much venom to spew, so trust me. We'll have a post-mortem.
That should be good. We'll have Jim back on the show. Yeah, we'll discuss it. So, in any sense, the Pittsburgh Penguins here after making Washington burn a house down, unbelievable. I mean, Washington, they take 2 games in a row. They go to Game 7 and just play utterly terrible in Game 7. Give up two bad plays that have 2 goals scored on them in their own zone, but. Hey, needless to say, here come the Penguins. They're back again. You can put them last in the division every year, and they get into the playoffs. But they find a way to turn on the juice in the playoffs.
To beat the man.
You got to beat the man. You got to beat him.
Listen, here we are again. I got to tell you, this is a series that Pittsburgh's looking forward to.
Yeah, if you're talking about a matchup, this is the matchup they want.
Mm-hmm. You look at how Pittsburgh got here. They beat 2 of the best teams in the league to get to this point. Mm-hmm. And again, with all due respect to the team that just took my team out, Ottawa's not in their league. You take a look at how these teams kind of match up here. Ottawa's defense is really... It's unique and interesting. The thing that Ottawa's biggest strength, and those of you who watch the Rangers series know this, I know it intimately, is that if they're able to get a lead on you, that they're able to go to their 1-3-1 defense, because Guy Boucher is a big Jacques Lemaire disciple. So they play that Jersey-style trap, that 1-3-1.
Well, if you saw when they won in Tampa Bay, I mean that's what happened there.
Exactly right. They were very very similar, same coach at that time. Yep. But that's how they beat you. They play a very boring style of hockey, to be bluntly honest with you. But if it works, it works. No one's going to care. I think that the biggest problem they had with the Rangers was because the Rangers were always leading in those games. You look back at that series, Ottawa only led up until Game 6 for 13 minutes of time throughout the first 5 games.
You looked at that is unbelievable.
And the Rangers lost that series. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's not the Rangers in that while the Rangers don't have a lot of trouble scoring, Pittsburgh really doesn't have trouble scoring. Pittsburgh's one of the deepest. They were the number one offense in the league.
Yep.
They're going to be just fine scoring goals here. Mm-hmm. I didn't think Craig Anderson played overly well in the Rangers series. He's going to have to play a lot better.
No, and he had a good record against the Rangers too, but he didn't come off the park. But if you look at some of the numbers that really jump out at you, on the power play, Pittsburgh's 3, Ottawa's 23.
Yeah.
You look at the overall offense, Pittsburgh's number 1, Ottawa's 22. And you'd look at this in hindsight and say, man, they're not even going to get a sniff in this game. But you know what? I'm going to give Ottawa a little bit of credit here, because Ottawa, even though the stats aren't there for them, they've managed to get past 2 rounds in games they weren't supposed to be in. Mm-hmm. You got a bunch. We talked about Erik Karlsson, what he means to this Ottawa team. I mean, he's just a fire plug that gets this team rolling. Bobby Ryan has played well. He hasn't played overly well, but he's played well enough for them to win. Mike Hoffman, Kyle Turris. You got guys on this team that even Derek Brassard has played up to his potential at some point. I think it's all going to come down to goaltending in this. I think Craig Anderson can play better in this series. He's going to have to play better if they're going to survive against Pittsburgh, because if 1 goal goes in or even 3 goals go in at a point and they start to get rolling, Pittsburgh just wiped them off the planet. On the other side, Marc-Andre Fleury has surprisingly played really well. Where we thought Matt Murray was going to play, unfortunately the injury happened, and Fleury, his credit has really stepped in and probably brought up some value for him in the offseason. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that stays going with the Marc-Andre Fleury thing. I mean, I think Ottawa's going to really have to find a way to get him moving around and spread around a little bit. But you talk about the Pittsburgh defense. Who's playing better than them right now? I mean, they're really shutting teams down right into the blue line, not even letting them come into the zone and really set up. Washington did do a point on the power play, but for the most part, I don't see Ottawa really setting up and this being a shooting gallery at all.
No. Again, I don't want this to sound like sour grapes, because it really isn't. No, it really isn't.
Right.
They don't impress me at all. Ottawa really, really doesn't. And again, they're a team, they have to get ahead of you and start trapping you and bore you to death, because the only way they're going to beat you. As far as I'm concerned, Pittsburgh won the Eastern Conference Final this week. When they went into Washington and put an end to that team, they're on their way to the final.
You see, if Ottawa or the Rangers got to this point, the only way I think you stop Pittsburgh, you have to slow them down. You can't get in a scoring match with them and go toe to toe.
They just work.
No, because you got guys like Phil Kessel, Malkin, obviously Crosby. You got guys that'll just put the puck in the net at will. So you got to slow this team down. And if Ottawa is even going to stay in this series, they have to slow that big 3 down if they're going to even have a shot in this game. Plus, they're going to have Craig Anderson come to play. Mm-hmm. Is this going to be an uphill battle? I think it is. But can Ottawa do it? I think Ottawa can. Will they? Well, that's a different story. I mean, that's a whole prediction thing. But, this you look at the Western Conference in this game, this is night and day. Mm-hmm. The 2 games are night and day, how speed-wise is going to be. I think Ottawa's got a tough road ahead of them.
I never pick sweeps. I'm picking a sweep. I never pick sweeps. I usually pick 5-6 games, sometimes 7. It's seeing what I saw from Ottawa in the series that they just beat the Rangers in, and trust me when I tell you, again, it's very frustrating, because there's no way the Rangers weren't the better team. I mean, they own that series. They blew it late. Pittsburgh's not going to do that. Yeah. Because for all of the issues that the Rangers had, Pittsburgh has championship pedigree where the Rangers do not, frankly. So they've been there and done this before. They've gone through 2 of the top 5 teams in the league to get to this point. This should be a cakewalk for them, frankly. They can rest for what should be a pretty knockdown, drag-out Stanley Cup Final against whoever comes out of the West. For me, give me Pittsburgh in 4. I would say 3, but I don't want to be disrespectful. This is a massive issue for Ottawa. I cannot see how Ottawa's going to find their way through this series the way they found their way through the Rangers series, because the Rangers let them in.
People are going to say that you made that prediction because of all the hate you have.
I specifically said this is not sour grapes. I'm point blank telling you, I cannot imagine how Ottawa hangs with Pittsburgh. Ottawa is so reliant on Erik Karlsson, and my God, he is a phenomenal hockey player.
Yep.
All the accolades that guy gets are not enough. He really, really is great. Pittsburgh's so deep. They're deep with elite players. There's a reason they won the cup last year.
You look at the other side of it, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Of course I am.
You're picking Ottawa, right?
You look.
You know what? I challenge. Yeah, let's say.
All right.
Go ahead.
You look at this Ottawa team, and again, they've gotten here past 2 rounds where I think we've picked against them both times. Ottawa moving on.
Well, actually, no. I did. You chose to pick Ottawa last round. Probably
I did.
to tweak me.
No, not really. Because I thought Ottawa was working off of, they should have never gotten into the second round, and now here they are. But anyway, here's an Ottawa team, like we said, if they can do anything, they can slow Pittsburgh down. They're number 10 in the league in defense, where Pittsburgh's number 17. So this Ottawa team has to do 2 things. They, one, have to slow down Pittsburgh, which is not an easy task to do, to slow down the big 3. Actually, 3 things. Power play is going to be an issue. They really have to calm down Pittsburgh because, by numbers-wise, Pittsburgh should just roll in this series. But the same sense, I got 2 words for you, the reason that Ottawa could win this series. Craig Anderson. He's got to play better than he's played in the last 2 series. He's got to have his best series, even though if they do move on to go to the Cup, he's got to play that way now. That's the only way they beat the Penguins. And you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. Unlike Brian, which says with a Pittsburgh sweep, I am going to think Ottawa is going to pull this off with just Erik Karlsson playing the way he is and slowing down the Pittsburgh team, getting it done. Listen, folks, these aren't going to be high-scoring games. I don't see 5-4. I don't see 3-4. I don't see that. I see 1-2. I see 3-2. I see low-scoring games. That's the only way this is going to have to happen. I'm going to take the Senators in 7. I think it's going to have to be a long, drag-out, beat-up fight where you think Ottawa can get back into the series. They do. Pittsburgh's going to take it back. It's going to go back and forth. But I think the Senators are on a natural run this year, and I think they got into 2 rounds they never should have got into. They shouldn't be here, folks. The way Ottawa has been played this year, Brian will tell you, even before they played the Rangers, they should not be here. So you know what? They are, and I think they can get it done. I think they can move on again. I must be Senator happy. I don't know what it is.
Just for our fans who want to just make sure that they get this.
I'm sure they'll write in.
Yeah. Can you just go ahead and repeat your series pick in this one for me?
I think I'm going to take the Ottawa Senators in 7 games.
Okay.
Yes. Talk about 2 ends of the spectrum. He's got him in a sweep. I got him in 7.
for the fans that we have in Pittsburgh, hey, thanks, guys. Keep watching the show. You can feel free to direct your hate mail to Michael Galetta. You can email the sports box. You can just send your hate mail his way. Listen, we're divisional rivals, and I get it.
Yep.
Guys are going to win the series. Mike's a little...
Has nothing to do, folks. Again, not sour grapes. Nothing to do with I'm a Flyers fan. It's not a big deal. And I even told Brian, there's not anybody I hate in the league. I really don't. I just try to give my honest opinion. I think Ottawa can get it done. Will they? Guess what? Have I been wrong before? Well, more than on 1 occasion.
I'll tell you
but
what.
I think Ottawa can get this done.
I'll tell you what. If Pittsburgh allows John Gabriel to score 4 goals in a freaking hockey game, then maybe.
Yeah, that'll kill you, won't it, if Ottawa wins the series. But
I'm still not happy about it.
No, I can tell. Anyway, that's all right. I'll get your blood pressure after that thing. Anyway, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. You can always get us on social media if you need to.
Yeah, and the great thing about social media is you can share your hate mail with Mike all over the place. Now, if you want to tweet Mike and tell him how stupid Mike is on the Ottawa pick, it's at Sportsbox Show. If you want to find Mike on our Facebook page and tell him what in the world are you picking Pittsburgh for, it's at Sportsbox Show on Facebook. Or you can comment on our great YouTube channel and say, Mike, I can't believe you picked Pittsburgh. What the hell are you on today? And he'll tell you because we respond to all of our comments.
Or if you want to come to my house, my address is... No, we won't go that far. We'll have people lined up outside the house.
People might come here from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they might.
It ain't that far.
Anyway, yeah, I know my Pittsburgh fans will love me after this. But anyway, that's okay. I try to give it to like it is, folks. I can't give it to you sugar-coated all the time. Anyway, thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Keep an eye out. We always have good stuff coming. We're going to have some debates going, some good tutorial questions you guys are going to love. Write in. Tell us how we're doing. Tell me I'm an idiot for picking Ottawa. Whatever. I love it. Tell Brian he's still in trauma because the Rangers lost. But
you're an idiot.
Well, that's okay.
I did it for you guys.
I'll get over it. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you.
This episode of The Sports Box is brought to you by Mic'd Up Entertainment and DJ Mike Velardi. For all of your event planning needs, make sure you contact Mike at 609-864-5925 and tell him that you saw him on The Sports Box.
1, 2, 3.
Don't forget to subscribe.